Hello and welcome to this sample reading. This is a sample version of my personal reading offering called the Love Connection Energy Reading. And in this reading, I ask specific questions designed to help you understand your connection to a person of interest. This can be someone you're dating, talking to, a crush. And I'm going to use the celebrity example in this video of Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. So the questions that we always get into in this reading are, what are the person's current feelings? And I'm going to do it as if Kylie has reached out to me for a reading. And she wants to know how Timothy's feeling, right? So we're going to look into what are Timothy's current feelings for Kylie. Where does Timothy want this to go? And again, these are the questions that I get into in all of the personal readings. You can either purchase this on my Etsy shop. There's a discount code below for that, or directly from my website. But again, so we're going to ask, what are their current feelings? Where do they want this to go? How do they think that you feel? What actions will they take? And what is the likely outcome? So you can watch this video to get just kind of a feeling for what to expect from the Love Connection reading. So my intention is to tune into their relationship and see what's going on there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So Kylie is wanting to know, presumably, how is Timothy feeling? You know, she probably watches Pick a Card Tarot readings. She probably does want to know how Timothy's feeling. Don't we all kind of want to know how our person is feeling? Okay, so how is Timothy currently feeling for Kylie? I'm using the Cosmic Tarot deck for this reading. It's one of my favorite decks for personal readings. Okay, so Timothy's energy is coming through as the Hermit card. The shared energy is the Princess of Wands. And then your energy, Kylie, is the Emperor card. Okay. So he is viewing you, I think, as being kind of in charge of this relationship. Like you're the one leading the way. I don't feel a negative energy here coming from the Hermit card. I would just say, like, he probably needs his space sometimes. Like he needs to kind of get away and be in his own energy at times. But the shared energy is still the Princess of Wands. So I would say that you are exciting to him. You know, he feels that you are something to look forward to in terms of like talking to you, interacting with you, spending time with you, things like that. With the Hermit card as well, it's clarified by the Judgment card, and it's making me think that this relationship is still a lot for Timothy to digest, right? It's been a sort of dramatic transformation in some kind of way. And I do feel, because there are two women pictured on the card, it's either that he still is kind of trying to adjust to the difference between you maybe and a past person, or there could be some other woman who is giving too many opinions, or both. Let's see what it is. Is it about an ex of his? Is it about someone giving too many opinions? Okay. So the too many opinions is coming through very strongly. And I think that he's defensive about this. Whoever this third woman is it? I don't think it's Kris Jenner, surprisingly, but somebody is giving too many opinions about this. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But like there's a little bit of defensiveness. Is it just the general public having too many opinions? Okay. Yeah, I think he feels like the general public is having too many opinions about your relationship, and that does make him a little bit defensive because he feels like that is wrong. Or that people are wrong about it. Both of those things. He does feel like it's wrong for people to be so invested in your relationship, but also he thinks that people are getting it wrong. Yeah, and I do feel like this relationship is different from what he has experienced in the past in his relationships. So that is another thing. So there's just a point of adjustment. There's a lot for him to adjust to, and sometimes he kind of needs to be in his own energy because of that, but I think he does still get excited about you with that Princess of Wands. What are Timothee's current feelings? So I will say that he is invested in how you feel, Kylie. He does take a personal interest. He's coming through as this Page of Cups, which is giving a lot of like Scorpio vibes in this particular card. It doesn't mean that anyone here has to have Scorpio in their chart. It's just saying he's taking it personally and he's trying to understand. I would say he's going out of his way to understand your emotions as well, because I would say he views the whole relationship situation overall as being one with a lot of burdens and a lot of obstacles with this 10 of Wands. It's like the two of you kind of have to go through it in order to make this relationship work. There's a lot of challenges to the relationship. He does see you as well as experiencing emotional difficulty. I feel like he wants to understand how you feel more. I do also think, because the Three of Swords can refer to exes on your behalf as well, Kylie, and I just clarified it down here. There is something here where he feels that you may still be hurting over one of your exes or someone from the past. It's something that maybe the two of you haven't discussed very openly, but he wants to know more. Like, this is a curious, like, I'm trying to get to the truth underneath, right? And then we have the High Priestess reverse, the Six of Swords. It's like, you may have spoken of this ex, but I would say that Timothée is feeling that maybe you're leaving certain aspects of it under the rug, like trying to sweep it under the rug. And he does feel like you may not be totally over this person, or you still have some sort of emotional baggage that is, sadness, regret, remorse, pain, heartache. It feels like you're having some difficult emotions still, that you're getting over it. He does feel like you're healing with the Six of Swords, but he also feels like you don't really tell the whole story of what happened with that ex, or what you might still currently be feeling. Tell me more about this Prince of Cups, because I feel like Timothée is definitely trying to look beneath the surface of what you are openly saying, and like, he just wants the truth. Like, it's a little bit of a emotional detective work. Like, he wants to know what these feelings are that you're still harboring. And I think that his goal in that is because he wants you to be at peace with it. It's not, I don't think that it's like jealousy. It's like, basically, Kylie, Timothée, feel that you deserve more than whatever heartbreak it was that other person brought you. And yeah, I mean, he can see that you are coming to peace, but he doesn't feel like you have totally come to peace with it. Okay. What else about Timothée's feelings for you, Kylie? He does feel very sweet. We have the Six of Cups. He feels like a sweet emotional connection. I would say he finds it easy to express this sweetness to you. Personally, I would say he feels that it's more difficult for you to express this sort of like tenderness and sweetness, like the sort of cutesy, soft, I don't know, puppy dog love. Like, he feels like that's easy to exchange that with you, but he feels like you are actually the one who, with this Prince of Swords, that maybe you struggle with it a little bit more. Why is he feeling that way? I would say he thinks that you don't realize how much he does actually like that cutesy, lovey-dovey stuff. Like the sweet little, romantic gestures, like touching someone's arm or giving them a sweet little kiss on the forehead type of thing. Like he really likes that, but he feels like you might have an idea of him not liking that. And anyway, he likes it more. He can see that you probably don't realize the degree to which he likes that, but he does. He likes the sweet moments. I think that he does take some responsibility for that you might not see that fully, because he's like, well, I have given a little bit of mixed signals sometimes. Like sometimes I have seemed a little bit standoffish or defensive, and then other times I've seemed very gung-ho about it. And so I don't know, it's like he gives you credit, Kylie, because he feels like you're doing your best. We have the 8 of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles, but they're reversed. Like he feels like you are very invested in this relationship. You're putting your all into it, even though his own mixed signals are probably making it more complicated for you. I think he feels also, this might be surprising to you, but like there are moments when you have like maybe spazzed out on him a little bit with this Tower card. Like he has a sort of emotional patience with that. Let me see. Like you could have gotten sort of, I don't know, it's almost like cold, or put up some sort of like rough edges with him at certain times. We have the Tower, the Prince of Swords, and the King of Wands. It's like a little bit of a cold shoulder, or like your energy is just on the fritz towards him in a sort of not super welcoming. It's making me think of like a porcupine when it like raises up its quills. It's like, I'm not feeling it at this moment. Anyway, he's seen you in that energy towards him before, but it's almost like in a strange way that puts him at ease. He feels like he can really relate to you emotionally when you allow yourself to be real like that, I would say is what it is. Like it almost gives him a feeling of security here with this 4 of Pentacles. Like, okay, she's not having to be perfect all the time. Like she's showing me who she really is. And actually, I really appreciate that. She doesn't have to be perfect all the time. I know that I'm not perfect all the time. And so when she's willing to show that, it makes me feel more at ease with her. I think another thing that he really likes about you is that you have a way of being able to kind of go off and do your own thing. Or like, let's say you're in a group and you have a conversation with someone else. He never feels abandoned. And, like you can be working on your own projects or things, Kylie, or talking to someone else. And he still feels the love, right? He feels your presence. He feels that closeness with you regardless. So he does like that a lot. It makes him feel, again, this sense of emotional security. And also, especially like when you are around other people and other people's energy, he feels like it's actually easier to manage other people's energy with you there. It's almost like you're sort of a buffer, or you're a sense of comfort to him in group situations where other people are around. You make him feel very emotionally secure. And I think he is glad that you do have your own life. He feels that this is something that makes the bond stronger between the two of you, that you both have your own things going on, because he likes to give his full heart to what he's doing in his life as well. I'd say especially his career. The Chariot card here is about seeking success. The Devil card is, as well about seeking success. So he feels like you're both motivated towards your own personal successes. And with his Seven of Cups in the middle, it's like even though you might be having different types of things that you're working on, those differences to him are actually intriguing, right? To him, I would say that the differences in what you're focused on in life, the type of work that you're doing, to him, it feels sort of refreshing to be exposed to something different from what everyone around him is doing. Okay, so we've got a lot of his thoughts and feelings. So where does Timothée want this to go? That's our next question. Where does he want this to go? Where does he want it to go from here? Get the Six of Swords. I mean, I would say like steady as she goes, like he's feeling good about where things are now. He wants more of that, and just like for it to continue to get slowly better and better, like one day at a time, one step at a time. He is very excited about things. He definitely wants more interaction, more communication, and for that to continue, he wants to feel that you're a solid presence in his life. But, I would say I would not say that he has a specific mindset of like, well, we have to get married or we have to do this, that, or the other. It's more like things are going really well. It's smooth sailing right now, and let's continue that smooth sailing. I feel good having you in my life. You make me feel very secure, very grounded. Yeah. And again, back to the like when he has to be around groups of people, like he really finds your presence there very reassuring, and he wants that to continue to be the case. So yeah, I mean, I would say like, where does he want this to go? He wants it to continue, to be what it is, and steady as she goes. So how does he think you feel? We have gotten a little bit of a hint of that already. I do think he feels that you are probably more focused on leveling up the commitment. The Hierophant often does indicate marriage. I think that he does feel like you probably do have that as a goal and a standard for what you're seeking out of this. Yeah, we've got the Hierophant and the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, he feels that you probably want a very significant long-term commitment, like a marriage, and that you are kind of like waiting for that, like having strong expectations. Yeah, he's very aware. I think that he's probably not quite ready to like give into that yet, like I said, but he does feel that you definitely want that. What about emotionally? How does Timothée think that Kylie feels? Well, he thinks that you're hot for him. You have the Two of Wands. He feels that there's definitely attraction. There's passion. He does feel like you like to be in charge of things. And this came up at the beginning of the reading as well, where you were represented by the Emperor card. Yeah, I would say he almost views that you know, you wanting to take the leadership of things, take the lead, almost as a defense mechanism. So it does not bother him at all that you do that. He feels that you, in terms of taking the lead in the relationship, I would say that he feels that you are, you know, probably embracing your femininity in a different kind of way, right? You're embracing your femininity almost like the King of Pentacles. Like, he can tell that you know what you want. You want a definite long-term commitment with him, and you're doing your best to lead it in that direction. So you're a little bit, in a way, taking on what would be like traditionally a man's role in a courtship. I would say sometimes with this Ace of Cups, though, he does feel that maybe you're more concerned with the material or social aspects of a marriage than you are the emotional ones. I don't think he's reading you as a particularly emotional, ooey gooey type of person towards him. It's more, he feels like you definitely know what you want. You want a certain type of commitment, like I said, probably a marriage, and that you're willing to lead it in that direction. He thinks that you may not always be super comfortable with the fact that you're the one taking the lead, that you might not prefer that it's not that way, but he also feels, I don't know, kind of a respect for you, I think, that you are willing to do that. In general, he feels like you are a solid grounding presence in, this keeps coming up. This is what I'm getting with this Three of Cups for you. Like, in social situations, you are a very grounding presence. You smooth social situations. And it's because you have that ability to lead relationships, to lead in social dynamics, to lead things in a certain way in order to bring about greater harmony and a greater sense of groundedness. He definitely feels like you're a very grounding presence, right? You make him feel very stable and secure. How does he think you feel? He does feel like you really love to experience sweetness from him, you know, that he does feel that that he is your emotional fulfillment. Like, he knows that he makes you happy, and that's why you're trying to lead the way to marriage and a serious lifelong commitment. You know, in other words, like, you wouldn't be doing it just for, you know, like, oh, I want to find a good partner, you know what I mean? Good for you is like someone who genuinely makes you happy. But at the same time, I would say that he feels that you do prioritize the practical. When I'm saying the material aspects of a relationship, it's more like the practicality of it. Like, you're looking for a practical relationship that suits your life, that suits your lifestyle, that's good for your lifestyle. But also, like, he knows that you are very happy to get, like, sweet kisses and loving gestures from him. Like, he knows that you love that. And, you know, I'm kind of going back and forth, but he does like to give you that sense of peace. He knows that when he shows up emotionally for you and gives you the same emotional security that you give him, that you seem so peaceful, and he loves seeing you in that peaceful energy. Anything more about how Timothée thinks that Kylie feels? No, but it is interesting. We get the Justice, the Empress, and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, he really does view you as a very classy lady. I will just say, is like how he views you. Classy, top-notch. Okay, what actions will Timothée take towards Kylie going forward? We have the Queen of Wands. So again, to me, it's like he's going to be letting you lead the way, but he's happy to let you lead the way. He does feel that sometimes even you need time for yourself. So he's like, I think it's kind of like, well, when Kylie feels like being more social and getting out and doing things, then we're going to get out and do things. When she wants chill vibes, there's going to be chill vibes. I don't know. He's letting you lead the way. I do see, though, that you will see him in some way kind of taking up a little bit more of that masculine leadership energy in the relationship. And that will have to do with maybe deepening the emotional bond between the two of you. Like, he definitely wants the two of you to get closer emotionally, which is not to say that you're not close already, but like, he wants to deepen that bond. And he is ready to take more steps in the direction of that. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, it feels like almost like he's willing to take emotional risks, or to take on emotional burdens, like to face things that are not easy to face emotionally in order to get closer to you. He does know that the more he does this, the more likely it is that both of you, he's like, at some point it's going to get to the point of no return, where it's like, okay, we're kind of just going to have to get married. So it's like, even though he is not specifically trying to get to that married point, he does want to create this stronger emotional bond between the two of you, this closeness that he knows, if that closeness happens at some point, you will have crossed a point of no return, and it's going to definitely lead to marriage. So he can see that, and that I would say is the sort of, I'm willing to take on emotional risks, because he doesn't necessarily feel certain that he wants to be married, but he does feel certain he wants that emotional closeness, and yet he knows where that emotional closeness is likely to lead if it were to happen. So I know that's a little complex, but hopefully it makes sense. You know, he does imagine what it would be like to be married to you. He does see you as a very powerful woman. Again, we have the Queen of Pentacles coming up, and also the Strength card. He sees you as someone who owns your energy in a very powerful, dynamic way. He does feel that despite you being this powerful, enigmatic person, that you're not always really, truly happy inside. So these are things that he thinks about. He's like, how is all of this going to affect if we're together long term? Because she is this powerful person, you know, we would be effectively a power couple. But I know she has these emotional needs that are a little bit more private, where she's not always so happy, despite what it might seem on the outside. And I know that if we were in that type of relationship, I would have to show up for her as this King of Cups, as someone who's very empathetic and there for her and providing the emotional support that she needs. So these are thoughts that he's having about the future. Like I said, in terms of what actions, mostly he's going to be letting you take the lead, but he is going to be actively trying to gain a closer emotional connection to you. And he has thought about what the ramifications are of that likely leading to a marriage, and the type of partner he would want to be for you if that were to happen. Okay, so like, what's the likely outcome between the two of these people, between Kylie and Timothée, in, let's say, 6 months from now? We have the Princess of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles representing you, Kylie, and the Ace of Cups representing Timothée. Well, I mean, the Princess of Pentacles indicates stability, but it doesn't really indicate that things have changed all that much, because this is Earth energy. Earth is not moving too quickly or changing or developing too drastically or dramatically. So there's peace, there's harmony, there is a sense of security. He's definitely very much in love with you 6 months from now with the Ace of Cups. With the Five of Pentacles on your side, I would say that you might be wanting there to be a little bit more change. Wanting there to be more development. At the same time, I think you are kind of like understanding the bigger picture of it. Like, things just take time. Like, you know, it's probably best not to rush. Although there could be a little bit of inner conflict where you do wish things would rush a little bit, you know, develop a little bit more quickly. But yeah, he's coming through with his feelings as the Ace of Cups and the High Priestess. So I don't know. It's like, interestingly enough, at 6 months, he is loving you very much. I think sometimes he is being a little bit mysterious in some ways, and not maybe, for some reason, 6 months from now, openly expressing his feelings as much. Yeah, I mean, the love is definitely there. I would say he's like holding back a little bit more 6 months from now, from like expressing it as much. It's almost like he wants you, to me it feels almost like he wants you to be trying harder to know his feelings. So he doesn't want, it's like there's a little bit of a, I don't want to have to go out of my way to make sure Kylie knows how I feel. I want her to be putting in the effort to like see into my feelings. You know how when someone will say sometimes, like, well, you should just know how I feel. I mean, it is giving that energy, like, you should just know how I feel, because he feels like he does that for you. So in any case, it's not, I would not say that it's a bad note though. He's still very into you, in love with you, very attracted to you, you know, like willing to see it out 6 months from now. But it's like, I think there's just a little bit of thorn in his side where he's wishing you would just try to understand him more without him always having to say it or show it. He wants you to intuit his feelings more, I think. Okay, so what's the guidance for Kylie regarding this relationship? We have the Hierophant. I mean, so the guidance is, like, there is very, very, very strong potential here for this to be a marriage. Your spirit guides are saying, like, not to overthink it or overanalyze it too much, and to kind of like go with the flow, one step at a time. Enjoy the moment. Be present in the moment. Like, enjoy these memories that you're making now. And, you know, kind of have faith that you're taking the right steps towards what it is that you want. And, again, not to try to overanalyze or overthink it along the way, but enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments you're creating now. These are memories. All right, so Kylie, I hope that you enjoyed that. For the rest of the viewing audience, I hope that that was helpful as well for you to understand what a love connection energy reading from me would be like if you were to purchase one. You can find those purchase links in the description box below. Bye-bye.